Alright, so we're finally getting to the point where we're able to implement the new linear piston air pump. So that's it right back here. It's actually a bit smaller than you would imagine. So the pump goes right there and it connects with some rubber flexible line up to the PVC line. And it's important to have that flexible portion right there because being soft rubber, that'll help absorb some of the vibration that this pump is going to make. If it was just connected into the system with a solid line, you'd have vibration going through the entire air system, which, if you look around, is all the way around the fish room. But before we can turn that on, we need to add some valves. The valves go into the air supply line and the PVC. Now the nice thing about these things is once you figure out the correct drill bit size, they are threaded. And these will self-tap into the PVC. So each one of these, depending on who the manufacturer is, will determine what size drill bit you're going to want to use. This size happens to be the one I'm using. And we're going to need a lot of airline hose. Speaking of, shout out to a friend of mine. I'll put his YouTube channel in the description of this video. He was the one who helped supply me with all this, which we're definitely going to need. Not all of it, of course. But this is, well, let's put it like this. It's better than the cheap airline hose that I'm used to from getting it at Walmart. So, let's install some valves. Now, I'm just going to find myself an area. Now, I'm going to try and get it slightly right above my fish tanks. And I kind of want the valves to be facing downwards. So, getting it just right, especially on a surface that is, well, circular, isn't exactly the easiest thing to do it. But there we go. So that is the hole. And now, what we can do is we put our drill bit down. We're going to take our valve, turn it so that the valve is not facing the same direction as where the air is coming out. And you can tighten the chuck around the valve stem. And we're going to use the drill to tap the hole into the hole we just drilled. And that certainly got it some of the way there. We can tighten that a little bit more. But it's in there pretty good. So, actually, yeah. That's not bad. It's right about where I want it. And huzzah! We now have a valve. And we can just open and close the valve however we see fit. An airline is going to come down from here behind this wood and then into the sponge filter. So we're going to do that a bunch of times all the way around. We're going to hook everything up and then we're going to turn on the pump. Yeah, center punch would definitely be helpful with this. But I do not think that I have one. Well, that's one side. Now we got to do the other. Out with the old line, the old cheapo depot discount Walmart branded stuff, and in with the new stuff. This is from Penplax. I've used a lot of their canister filters, but never their airline. Let's see. Get an idea of how much I need here. It feels more malleable. Oh yeah. This is much nicer than that Walmart garbage I've been using for years. Oh yeah. That'll do. And then cut it right about here. Now, totally wrong tool to cut this with, but it works. Alright, well, let's see if we can. Yes, this airline hose goes over these plastic pieces much easier than the Walmart stuff I was using before, that's for sure. Which is automatically a big win in my book. So that is one line done. I'm gonna do one side, which is, of course, not enough outlets for this pump, but I just want to do a sanity check and make sure that we don't have any leaks from the way that I drilled. I don't think there is, but you never be quite sure. It's funny, I call this the fish room, but there's technically only one fish in this room. And that's a little manual, my auto-synchronous. Everything else is an invertebrate.
Well, it used to be the fish room.
Can't wait to be done with diaphragm-based pumps. Because I have gone through many diaphragm pumps in this fish hobby of mine. And it's really annoying when they fail, because the diaphragms often cost just as much as a brand new entire pump.
Andrew.
What? Wow. Good point, good point. Oop. Drop something in the fish tank.
You're not supposed to drop it in the tank.
I'm not trying to. But this Penplax stuff is phenomenal. I will never go back to using Walmart brand anything in these fish rooms.
Well, you hope.
Yeah, I suppose technically that's true. This is what I hate about Aqueon glass lens. Aqueon Versatops. Their center part always fails, whereas the ones that I've gotten from Topfin at Petco or PetSmart have never failed on me.
Andrew.
Again. Putting the cart before the horse here. So we got Aqueon needs to figure out who their supplier is for these things. These little parts that hold the glass, because I am sick of them breaking. It's not even a warranted part. I once contacted Aqueon about it. Said, nope, it's not a warranted part. And I'm like, okay, let me just buy the part. And it's like, nope, we don't even sell the part. I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? But I noticed when I went to PetSmart and got their brand, which is Topfin, I've never had a problem with any separation. This time I will not forget to put it behind the piece of wood. Oh. You thought I would forget again, didn't you?
I kind of wanted to see a blooper counter for that.
Oh, yeah. Admit it, you thought I would do it again.
Yeah, yes I did.
Ye of little faith.
Well, you only got it on half the room, so...
Well,
2 out of 4 tanks, you got a 50% rating.
I mean,
I think that's.
They're not wrong, but
I think that's a fail.
go poop yourself. See, it's just a cylinder. It's not a barb that it goes on. It's a bad design choice, and whoever manufactures this. Still, I've had to fix a few design flaws in this particular style sponge filter, but yet I continue to go with this type because it is the only kind that I like. And it's a good indicator of actual water flow, not just air bubbles coming out when you view it and the way it works. So that is 4 hooked up. We're going to try turning on the pump and making sure at least that these 4 lines work. Then we're going to shut the pump off and put some more lines in. Alright, to my tech spaghetti. Well, talk about airflow.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah, I don't hear any leaks. It's kind of funny though. I'm going to stand up here real quick, see if I can hear any leakage. This one's got a small leak.
That was the one you thought would have a leak.
Yep. I have to put some silicone around it. Now I can turn this off, do the rest of them.
I think that was the most amount of air those suckers they've all had.
Yeah, that's definitely a ton of air. So,
Yeah, scared them.
yeah, we've got that done now. So, now for the other side. So Mike here is going to do the other side. There you go. I have a little pre-filter system set up for when I do water changes, because shrimp can be kind of finicky about their water changes. So I just have this this fluval cascade, or this fluval canister filter, and this filters my water that comes out of my well, because my well water has a little bit of ammonia straight out of the well. And I'm just going to convert whatever little ammonia there is all the way over to nitrate. And there's not a whole lot of nitrate. And that makes the water changes easier than the little guys. But, all we've got to do is fill the tanks. Now this tank I need to get water out of. That. I have got my siphon in which I've got to squeeze to remove the water. 1 squeeze, 2 squeeze, 3 squeeze. And this just goes directly into a toilet.
That doesn't work.
Hey, the toilet works for this purpose. I don't know why there's a toilet in this room. That's how the house came. This water just goes into that toilet. Okay, so we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 airlines connected, and although that sponge filter could probably be standard to turn upright a little bit, but we got all the diaphragm pumps turned off, and well, we're just going to power the system on and see how everything came out. I'd say we've definitely got power. So we pretty much got it done, at least for the 10-gallon tanks for right now, and all the sponge filters are working wonderfully. They are outputting a large amount of flow, which is good. Now there is a surprise side effect to all this. For a number of years now, I've been running diaphragm-based pumps. Kind of like this little guy right here. The problem with them is it's a diaphragm. It's a rubber piece, usually a disc shape, that wiggles back and forth to move air, and those pieces wear out because the rubber just breaks, and when that happens, it doesn't pump air anymore. The one benefit to them is, at least if you get like the Whisper series from Tetra, is that they're usually pretty quiet. I've been running an AP300, which is the highest end Whisper series that I know of, for a little over a year now, but that was only able to power 6 tanks. And I thought that was quiet. But this linear piston air pump, it is super quiet. I honestly expected it to be noisier. Like I thought I would have like an increase in vibrational noise from a pump compared to a diaphragm. But turns out it's really hard to hear. It's just the faintest sound, and I would say that it's on par, if not better, than my AP300. On top of that, I've got a lot more pressure, a lot more lines that I can make from a single pump, and higher reliability. So, all things considered, it is a definite win in my book. There's just a point where diaphragm pumps just don't cut it when you get to a certain scale. And this fish room, by all means, or by any means, is not really even that big. People run these linear piston air pumps for setups that are like way bigger than mine, and they do make much bigger linear piston air pumps too. I got like the smallest one I could get because I didn't need a big one, and if you don't have enough airlines coming out, that back pressure in the line will eventually damage the pump. So you need to have an abundance of lines. In this case, I was told like a minimum of 12, preferably 15 as a minimum. So what I'm going to plan on doing is adding some air stones to the cake tank here, and maybe some air stones to some of the 10 gallons, just because. That being said, there is a solution to that too much back pressure situation, and it's called a bleeder valve, and I have yet to install it because I wasn't aware of what part exactly I would need to get to install it. Okay, this is it right here. So this little piece screws onto here, and we just need to get a T connection and basically put it anywhere we feel like, and this valve opens and closes and it relieves excess pressure. Now if I'm not going to be running that minimum of 12 lines, this is what I would need to use to ensure I don't destroy that linear piston air pump. So I'm going to be installing this one way or another just as a safety precaution, but there's some things I can think of that could use some airlines. So, but that's pretty much it for right now, guys. The fish room is coming along. Another good shout out to my friend who helped me, not only just supplied these Penplax airline hoses, but also introduced me to linear piston air pumps. I was really put off by it because I really didn't know how they worked. And he was able to recommend me a good one. He taught me what I needed to know about setting up the central airline system. And he really more or less walked me through the process. And I'm liking what I see. Again, a link to his YouTube channel will be in the description. So go check him out and show him some love. He's got some awesome stuff. He's got a great big fish room too. He's a cool guy. But that's pretty much it, guys. Stay fishy.